Welcome to the Workshop Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and today's 5-Minute Monday, we're going to talk a little bit about circadian rhythms. So what's a circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is basically a 24-hour cycle that your body goes through. It's your body's clock, as it were. Typically, your circadian rhythm is associated with your sleep cycle, so your sleep and wake cycle, but it's also associated with your body temperature, hormone production, digestion, metabolism, your cognitive function. Even your moods and emotions can be affected by your circadian rhythm. Most importantly, your cellular repair, your body's maintenance, and immune function are tied in to your circadian rhythms. So your circadian rhythm is driven basically by an internal alarm clock in your head called the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the hypothalamus. This brings up one of my all-time favorite words in science called the zeitgeber. Now, this is a German word. Don't ask me what it actually means in German because I'm not sure. What it is in English, though, and I'm assuming German since it's taken from the German, is the external clues that your body uses to regulate the circadian rhythm. One of the most important ones is light. So your suprachiasmatic nucleus is sensitive, or it's hooked up to the cells in the back of your retina, so the back of your eyeball. So when light hits those cells, it sends a signal to your suprachiasmatic nucleus and says, hey, it's light out, it's daytime, it's time to be awake. And this starts to suppress the pineal gland's production of a hormone called melatonin. I'm sure you've all heard of melatonin. Melatonin is the sleepy hormone, basically. As it gets darker, your production of melatonin goes up and your sleepiness goes up along with that. So what is a major false zeitgeber in today's society? Screens. Screen time is a major problem when it comes to sleep hygiene. So basically your ability to sleep properly at night. Essentially, screen time tricks your suprachiasmatic nucleus into suppressing the production of melatonin. So as you're laying there doom scrolling in the middle of the night, what you're doing is you're actually kind of tricking your brain into saying, hey, it's daytime, don't go to bed yet. When in actual fact, it's dark outside and you should be going to bed. But since that suprachiasmatic nucleus is suppressing the production of melatonin from the pineal gland, you're not getting that normal increase in the production of melatonin to help you go to sleep. Why is this important? Well, melatonin has a number of effects in your body, not just the sleepy hormone. First of all, from a mental health perspective, not only does decreased melatonin mean decreased sleep, sleep is associated with a number of mental health conditions. Typically, any sort of mental health problem that you may have, it's associated with a lack of sleep. So decreased sleep increases your risk of anxiety, it increases your risk of depression, it increases your risk of a number of things. However, like I said, melatonin is more than just the sleep hormone. It also improves your immune function. You probably have noticed it throughout your life. When you're exhausted, you're more likely to get sick. Melatonin is one of the contributing factors in that. Another thing that it does is it's a major antioxidant. So an antioxidant, it decreases inflammation in your body. Part of the production of energy in your body produces what are called free radicals, and free radicals are just little ions, basically little charges in your body that come across as a byproduct of producing or changing your food into energy. And these things can go on and they go around your body and they can create all sorts of little problems. Typically you'll hear somebody, oh, you're feeling inflamed. It's those free radicals that are screwing with your body. And so decreased melatonin production means that your body isn't clearing out those little inflammatory products as well as they should be. Another thing, and this may be important for us middle-aged type people, none of us are old yet, hopefully. Melatonin is associated with decreasing the effects of aging and therefore increasing your expected longevity throughout your life. Who doesn't want to live a little bit longer? I don't know, unless you're really bad at life, I suppose, and depressed. Hopefully you're not in that situation. If you are, talk to a counselor. So bringing this back to our circadian rhythm thing. Our circadian rhythms, again, regulate our sleep cycle. They regulate our hormones, our body temperature cycle. These all change throughout the day. typically that's a 24-hour cycle, right? It's associated with the day. Latin circa dia. That's what circadian comes from, is circa, about, dia, a day. So circadian rhythms should be about a 24-hour cycle, and they should be associated with your day-night cycle. One of the problems with modern society now is the electric light bulb and screens, and these are messing with our circadian rhythms, which in turn is messing with our melatonin production. So what are some things that we can do about this? One of the rising problems is, of course, our handheld devices and, unfortunately, social media. So I'm going to give you 3 screen time hacks, I guess. 3 things to improve your sleep hygiene. So that's your bedtime routine before you go to bed. Number 1, if you do nothing else, number 1, no screens for a half an hour before going to bed. Number 2, keep screens out of the bedroom. Don't have a TV in your bedroom. Don't fall asleep watching TV. Messes with your head. Number 3, produce a routine for yourself that takes away the screen out of the situation. Read a book for 20 minutes or a half an hour before going to bed. Turn your lights down nice and low. Read your book. Maybe practice a mindfulness routine, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of yoga, something like that. Just something that takes the screen out of your face. Not only does that stop that light from entering your eye and triggering that suprachiasmatic nucleus, but it also allows you to step away from, the social media doom scroll that we all kind of get sucked into. And like it or not, most people are negatively affected by that because of the social comparison thing, a number of other factors. But anyway, thank you for listening. I hope this was interesting to you. If it is, send me an email on Workshop Therapy Podcast, questions@workshoptherapypodcast.com. That comes to me and only me. So if you have a personal question that you want to talk about on here, or you just want further information about what I talked about today. Another question, I would love some feedback on these 5-minute Mondays. On Spotify, there's an option, there's a poll at the end of do you like this? Are there other things you want to, that you can go over there and say yes or no if you're on Spotify. If you're not on Spotify, hit me up on social media. Give me some questions to talk about, or give me some feedback. Do you like these types of things? Are there other subjects that you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about some physical health type of things? Yeah. So again, thank you to everybody who supports the podcast. Thank you to everybody who's listening. Just hit 1,000 listens on the podcast, which is really cool. And I appreciate everybody's following along. Just want to say thank you to all of the patrons, and especially the newest patron, Mr. Ed John of buttjoints.com. I'd also like to just read everybody off today. So we're going to start from the top. Mr. Matthew Serio from Argiano Serio, Brad from Brad's Customs, Keith Drennan from Blackthorn Concepts, Eric of Overall Makerworks, Brandon Milchamp of Tectonic Creations, the Grant Alexander, Carol Ann Jeanette Racine. You need to make sure that you send me a message and tell me whether I'm pronouncing your name or not. If I am pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. And Bryce the Waffle Beaver, and of course, once again, Ed Johns of buttjoints.com. Thank you all for supporting the podcast, and please give me some feedback of anything that you guys want to hear. I just want to say thank you to the founding members of the Workshop Therapy Patreon family: Eric of Overall Makerworks, Keith Drennan of Blackthorn Concepts, Brad of Brad's Customs, Matthew Serio from Argiano Serio, and the Grant Alexander. If you want to join on Patreon to support the show or just say thank you, I'd appreciate it.